popularly known as IPU, and related meetings held in Manama Kingdom of Bahrain from the 11th to the 15th of March 2023. This particular motion is by the Senator for Meru County, Senator Kathuri Murungi. In this motion is that the Senate notes the report of the 146th Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union and related meetings held in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Declaration of cattle rustling as a national disaster and the establishment of a special funds for victims is another motion lined up for consideration this afternoon. This motion is by the Senator for Baringo County, Honorable William Cheptumo, and aware that cattle rustling is a major menace and security threat in the southern as well as North Rift region and some regions of the country, and concerned that the menace has left an irreparable as well as negative socio-economic impact, which include but not limited to an increased number of widows, orphans in the region. The House seeks to have this matter looked into. The Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Kingi, is presiding over the business of the Senate this afternoon. Allow me to hand you over for this live broadcast. Good afternoon.
Na baraka, sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri yetu. Tukuomba tuajalie, tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi hii yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Clerk, we have quorum. Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
The Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Kingi, has directed the Sergeant at Arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes, and this directive has been issued pursuant to the standing orders of the House that require that at a particular time when the Senate is sitting, at least 15 of them have to be in the chamber for business to commence. As we await for that number to be achieved, allow me to keep giving you some updates in regards to what is expected this afternoon. The declaration of cattle rustling as a national disaster and establishment of a special funds is a motion before senators this afternoon, where the Senator for Baringo County, Honorable William Cheptumo, seeks to have the Senate resolve that the national government, through the Ministry of Interior and the National Administration, in collaboration with the Council of Governors, do three things. One of them is declare that cattle rustling is a national disaster, establish a national task force on cattle rustling. This national task force will be charged with a couple of responsibilities. Among them is to investigate the causes of the rampant cattle rustling in the said regions of the country at large, as well as establish the extent of the loss and damage of cattle rustling that the damage that cattle rustling has occasioned to the communities in the affected counties. And finally, create a special fund for mitigating the losses suffered by, as well as compensate all victims of cattle rustling and settle all internally displaced persons occasioned by this menace of cattle rustling. The House is this afternoon also set to consider the designation of a monthly car-free day and the county car-free zones motion. This is a motion by nominated Senator Crystal Asige that are aware that Kenyans have a right to a clean as well as healthy environment. This is pursuant to Article 42 of the Constitution, and concerned that the number of private vehicles have significantly grown, leading to increased road accidents, carbon emissions, as well as vehicle congestion costs, which are in excesses of 100 billion shillings in gross domestic product per year. Now, therefore, the Senate urges the Ministry of Roads Transport, in collaboration with the Council of Governors and the National Climate Change Council, to identify, publicize, and execute suitable monthly car-free days and the county car-free zones in urban areas, as well as provide affordable, safe, as well as efficient public transport, including but not limited to development of a bus rapid transport, popularly known as BRT, in urban areas, as well as encourage the use of electric hybrid buses and provide for the appropriate incentives for their use, and finally ensure that there is intermodal connectivity among the various transport modes. The Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Bill, Senate Bills number 17 of the year 2023, is a bill by nominated Senator Beatrice Ogola that senators will be making their input on this afternoon, as well as the County Hall of Fame, Senate Bills number 18 of the year 2023 by Senator Miraj Abdullahi Abdurrahman. The Rice Bill, Senate Bills number 19 of the year 2023 by the Senator for Kirinyaga County, Honorable Senator James Kamau Murango, and the Water Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 33 of the year 2023, are some of the bills at the second stage, and senators will be making their contributions in regards to the proposals in the bills, as well as various amendments that pertains to each respective bill. This afternoon, the House is expected to consider the development of a policy and law for social risk management in matters of infrastructure and development of projects in Kenya. This is a motion by nominated Senator Catherine Moma, that aware that the Constitution has entrenched a strong Bill of Rights in Chapter 4, which recognizes human rights, including socio-economic rights, and the principle of equality and non-discrimination. Further aware that Kenya lacks a policy for guiding the management of these social risks in the design and implementation of infrastructure projects, concerned that there has been inadequate attention to social risks in the planning and implementation of the development projects. This is both at the national as well as county levels, making them unacceptable and end up costing the taxpayer colossal sums of money in suits. These are suits filed before the courts and tribunals by the local communities and affected persons, as well as interest groups seeking protection from such social risks. the Senate resolves that the national as well as the county governments develop a risk social management policy that outlines the standards as well as guidelines and procedures for guiding infrastructure and other development projects, both at the national and the county governments. The House has attained the quorum. Allow me to hand you over for this live broadcast. Enjoy your viewing.
You may proceed to call.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Senator Cheptumo, you are holding us. Now, honorable senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, visiting delegation from the United States of America with interest in the economic and political sector. The delegation is in the Senate on a courtesy call to the Senator for Nairobi City County, the Honorable Senator Edwin Sifuna, MP. Honorable senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon Senator Christo Asige under 1 minute to extend words of welcome to welcome the delegation.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity to greet the delegation and to welcome them to the Senate this afternoon. This, of course, is the upper house of Parliament, and we are 47 elected and 20 nominated senators that sit here every week. I do hope that their stay and their visit with us is successful and they're able to meet even with us, maybe in the corridors downstairs throughout the afternoon or after the session, Speaker, and enjoy their time thereafter. I appreciate you.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3 and 4, I have received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the decision by the National Assembly on the Senate amendments to the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2023. The message, dated Tuesday, 28th of November 2023, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate today, 30th November 2023. Pursuant to the said standing order, I now report the message. Whereas the National Assembly passed the bill with amendments on Tuesday, June 27, 2023, and referred it to the Senate for consideration, and whereas on Tuesday, October 12, 2023, the Senate considered the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2023, and passed it with amendments. Further, whereas on Thursday, November 23, 2023, the National Assembly rejected the Senate amendments to the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2023 of 2023, thereby committing the bill to a mediation committee pursuant to Article 112(2)(b) of the Constitution. And now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112 of our Constitution and Standing Order 149 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate and to seek the appointment of senators to the mediation committee on the bill. Honorable senators, the Speaker of the National Assembly, consequent to the said decision, appointed the following members of the National Assembly to the Mediation Committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. The Honorable Ndini Nyoro MP, the Honorable G.K. Kariuki MP, the Honorable Mary Emase MP, the Honorable Kipchumba Toroitich MP, and the Honorable Anthony Olwoch MP, the Honorable Joshua Kimilu MP, and lastly, the Honorable Catherine Omayo MP. Now, Honorable Senators, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 166(2) of the Senate Standing Orders, I'm in the process of appointing senators to the Mediation Committee. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable Senators, we'll start with the statements pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. Senator Lominen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement of general topical concern concerning the urgent need to discontinue the curfew in major towns and centers in Aro sub-county, Turkana County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I address this statement as a matter of urgency and importance that directly affects the livelihoods, security, and well-being of our constituents in Aro sub-county, Turkana County. Specifically, I am requesting the Senate and the Cabinet Secretary of the Ministry of Interior to reevaluate and discontinue the curfew imposed on major towns and centers such as Lokicher, Nakabosan, Kekunyuk, Kalemorok, Kaputir, Kakongu, and Kainuk along the highway. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are several compelling reasons to consider discontinuing the curfew in these insecure prone areas in North Rift region, as it appears to be falling short of its intended objectives and may, in fact, be causing more harm than good. Mr. Speaker, sir, the curfew has been ineffective in achieving its key objectives. The primary purpose of
Senator
a curfew...
Karen, kindly take your seat.
The primary purpose of a curfew in insecure-prone areas is typically to enhance security and protect citizens from potential threats during certain hours. If it is observed that the curfew is not effectively achieving these goals, its continuation may be questionable since security officers seem to be selectively allowing some vehicles and persons to move during exceptional times of the curfew. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, crime rates during curfew hours have escalated in towns such as Lokicher, Kalemorok, and Kainuk compared to non-curfew hours. Mr. Speaker, sir, curfew have hindered economic activities in towns and major centers where people rely on evening or night time work. This disruption has impacted livelihoods and income thresholds, exacerbating the economic challenges faced by Kenyans. The flow of goods has been disrupted, affecting businesses since transportation, trucks, and passengers have to disrupt journeys in curfew activated towns and centers. Mr. Speaker, sir, curfew have disrupted normal social activities and routines, affecting community life in Aro sub-county. Despite these disruptions, it has become evident that curfews are ineffective in eradicating insecurities, banditry, and cattle rustling. If the curfew is preventing social gatherings or communal activities without corresponding increase in security, lifting it may help restore a sense of normalcy. Mr. Speaker, sir, prolonged or ineffective curfews can lead to frustration among the populace, potentially resulting in civic unrest. If there is a perception that the curfew is not contributing to enhanced security, lifting it may serve to prevent tensions from escalating. The community of Aro sub-county lacks trust that the curfew is effectively addressing insecurity, especially since the plan to evict bandits has not been well executed by the security officers mandated to do so. Mr. Speaker, sir, rather than relying solely on curfews, it is crucial to explore and invest in community policing initiatives and alternative security measures, building trust between law enforcement and the community, and encouraging community involvement in security matters can be more sustainable approach to address insecurity. Mr. Speaker, sir, criminal elements may adapt to curfews by changing their activities to times outside the restricted hours. If it is evident that criminals are adjusting their behavior without reduction in criminal incidents, in question the efficacy of curfew as a security measure. Mr. Speaker, sir, in light of these concerns, I explore the Senate and the Ministry of Interior to review the imposition of curfew in Aro sub-county and consider alternative strategies that will genuinely contribute to the safety and security of our constituents. Mr. Speaker, sir, finally, in conclusion, the safety and well-being of our constituents are paramount, and it is our duty as a representative to ensure that government measures are effective and service the best interests of the community. I request all the senators to consider this matter seriously and collaborate to find solutions that will enhance security without unduly impacting the lives and livelihoods of our people. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mazayo.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 52, subsection 1, to make a statement on a matter of national and general topical concern, namely on the irregularity in the results of the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, KCPE 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, on 23rd of November 2023, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable Ezekiel Mashogu, CBS, released the 2023 KCPE results. However, parents and schools are in uproar and discrepancies emerge in the end results. The Kenya National Examination Council, KNAEC, erroneously awarded some candidates wrong marks and assigned grades for subjects candidates.
What is the point of order, Senator Kinyua?
Mr. Speaker, I wanted your guidance because I think the same statement was seeked yesterday by Senator Asige. I just want your clarification, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kinyua, exercise some bit of patience so that at the end of this statement you will know what aspects Senator Mazayo is touching on that may be materially different with the aspects of the statement that was given yesterday. Some subject matter, but touching on different aspects. Proceed, Senator Mazayo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Kenya National Examination Council erroneously awarded some candidates wrong marks and assigned grades and subjects candidates did not sit at all four. Noticeably, errors that emerged from various students was the awarding of marks for the Kenya Sign Language subjects, yet students had not sat for the said subjects, and grades in science and social studies and religious education were truncated incorrectly and were missing from the plus and minus signs. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Form 1 placement exercise began on 27th of November 2023 and is said to be completed within 2 weeks in order to give parents and guardians adequate time to prepare for their children to join secondary schools in 2024. However, the Ministry of Education has not stated the measures put in place to ensure that all students aggrieved with the results irregularities are not disadvantaged in the selection process. Mr. Speaker, sir, an example is drawn from the Moi Primary School, Kabarak, which is among the schools that addressed their displeasure at the Kenya National Examination Council, requesting for a review of the results as the same did not reflect the ability of their candidates. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is imperative that we take note of these complaints and their potential impact on our education system. The marking for the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education exam is yet to start, and such occurrences tend to shake the confidence of parents and schools having their countries' examination system. Mr. Speaker, Section 10, subsection 1A of the Kenya National Examination Council Act gives the Council the mandate to set and maintain the examination standards, conduct public academic, technical, and other national examination within Kenya at basic and tertiary levels. The irregularities have portrayed a picture of a council's failure to execute its function to deliver credible results to students who have toiled for 8 good years. Mr. Speaker, finally, we note that this was the last cohort of the 844 system sitting for the KCPE examination, and we hope that such occurrences of irregularities will not be embraced in the competency-based curriculum. This year's KCPE results will go down in history as one of the worst hit by irregularities since inception of the 844 system in 1985. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mazayo, you have another statement to make under Standing Order 52.1, yeah?
Yes, I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 52-1 to make a statement on a matter of national and general topical concern, namely on the irregularities of the results. I'm repeating the same. I'm sorry for the mix-up, Mr. Speaker, sir. I will repeat again. I will not go to the first paragraph of introduction of the standing orders. I'll go straight and say that this is in pursuant of unconstitutional introduction of the housing levy through amendment of Section 84 of the Finance Act, whose effect introduces amendment to the Employment Act. Mr. Speaker, I take cognizance of the ruling delivered by the High Court on the 28th of November 2023 that declared the housing levy unconstitutional. As per the ruling by Justice Meoli, Majanja, and Mugambi, for any tax legislation to pass the rule of law test, it must have a rational connection to the legitimate government purpose. Otherwise, the tax legislation will be arbitrary and unconstitutional. To this end, Mr. Speaker, I wish to point out that this House, I repeat, Mr. Speaker, to this end, Mr. Speaker, I wish to point out to this House that the projected collection from the housing levy is as follows: that on the financial year 2023 to 2024, Kenya shillings 63.2 billion. Number two, financial year 2024 to 2025, 70 billion. Number three, financial year 2025-2026, 78 billion. Number four, financial year 2020. Financial year 2025-2026, 78 billion. Mr. Speaker, I'm acutely aware that the housing levy, as provided for in the Finance Act 2023, violates the principles of taxation and are discriminatory and unfair by making a distinction between formal and informal income earners, thus creating unequal and inequitable principles of taxation. Mr. Speaker, I would therefore like to call upon this Honorable House, through the Standing Committee on Roads, Transport and Housing, and the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget, to liaise with the counterpart committees at the National Assembly to pursue the matter with a view of stopping any further deductions from Kenyans and coming up with a clear plan on how the Kenya Revenue Authority will refund the money collected from August 23 to November 23 to the citizens of this republic. Mr. Speaker, finally, in light of the ruling of the High Court, I call upon this Honorable House, through the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget and the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, to liaise with a counterpart at the National Assembly to re-evaluate and review the Finance Act 2023 with the aim of aligning it with the Constitution of Kenya 2010. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. Senator George Mbugua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the illegal dealings at the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide a report outlining the extent of irregular acquisition or land grabbing of government and private land in the country, and provide a list of documented cases, including the person numbers and the respective beneficiaries. And 2, state the safeguards in place by the government to prevent fraudulent transactions relating to public and private land. And 3, provide a status update on the digitization of land records and transactions to enhance transparency and reduce the potential for illegal dealings. And 4, to indicate the actions by the government against public officers involved in the illegal land transactions and fraudulent acquisition and sale of both private and public land. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi. Anyone holding brief for Senator Osotsi? That statement is dropped. Senator Karen Nyamu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on the upsurge of a popular trend known as aluta in Nairobi City and its environs, involving the sale of alcohol and other substances beyond the recommended hours. In the statement, the committee should, 1, outline plans, if any, by the government to address the concerning rise in uncontrolled alcohol consumption, clubbing, and partying among the youth, particularly in Nairobi and other urban areas. Number 2, provide comprehensive statistics on licensed nightclubs, bars, wines and spirits establishments in Nairobi County, indicating whether they pose any risks to nearby communities. Number 3, state measures put in place by the government to ensure strict adherence to the legally prescribed hours for the sale of alcoholic drinks as outlined in the 4th schedule of the Alcoholic Drinks and Control Act of 2010. Number 4, spell out plans by the government, if any, to ban and control the escalating aluta activities that pose a significant threat to the lives of young individuals at risk of substance abuse, including alcohol. And finally, Mr. Speaker, outline the government's initiatives to address the growing number of wines and spirits outlets within residential estates in Nairobi City County, clarifying whether there are any legislative gaps that may be addressed to regulate and better manage the abuse of alcohol and other substances. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Bone, you can only rise on a point of order when another senator is on their feet. Senator Bone, where I sit, at the time you're standing on a point of order, Senator Karen had actually completed making her request for that statement.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, indulge me under Standing Order number 1. The debate in this House is not just for our consumption, Mr. Speaker. It's also meant for the public. And Mr. Speaker, majority of the members here are good speakers of the English language. He is speaking of something called aluta. And in the English language, I do not know what it means. Mr. Speaker, under Standing Order number 105, I request that you allow her to tell us what aluta means, because we want to follow her. We need to know.
Very well, Senator Boni, Senator Karen, kindly explain what aluta is. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, the trend I'm talking about involves the consumption of alcohol or partying and clubbing on a continuous mode, non-stop, from Friday evening, for instance. You choose to remain in the club until until Monday morning, whereby young young Kenyans and the youth at the age bracket of, say, 19 years to, say, even 40 years are exposed in a party mood on an autopilot where it is non-stop. They don't go home, they don't take a shower, and there are existing laws, Mr. Speaker, that regulate the time that alcohol should be sold according to the alcohol bill of 2010. Mr. Speaker, in developed world, in the developed world, in the West, where we copy a lot of things, and let's face it, they're ahead of us in many ways. Clubs are closed at 2 a.m. No partying goes on in the United States of America, for example, past 2 a.m. Here in Kenya, the youth who are supposed to be participating in economic activities, the people who the future of our country relies on, are busy partying, thinking of nothing beyond tomorrow than having a good time the next weekend. Mr. Speaker, if we continue like this, we are going to lose a whole generation. I have a personal experience where in the University of Nairobi, I met a very good friend who was in Alliance High School, Mr. Speaker. A very bright, beautiful friend of mine who was schooling with me at the University of Nairobi Law School. And Mr. Speaker, we were exposed to an environment where our parents are not in campus, so you had to make your choice, whether you want to drink and party nonstop. And Mr. Speaker, as we speak, we lost my friend some years back because, for me, Mr. Speaker, I had a doting father who kept checking on me my every step.
So, and Senator Karen, just have your seat.
Mr. Speaker, I'm just trying to demonstrate the effects
Senator Karen, just take your seat, please. Order, honorable senators. If I got you correctly, Senator Karen, aluta means non-stop partying. Can that sum up the very long statement you're giving us? Aluta means, is it a concept?
Mr. Speaker, if you put it that way, if you say it's non-stop partying, someone might assume that this person is partying, normal partying hours, like they're partying till 6 a.m., going home and partying tomorrow.
Order, Senator Kenyo. Do you partake of these parties?
Mr. Speaker, there are notorious clubs, nightclubs, about 7 of them in Nairobi. I will take you round, Mr. Speaker, if you want, on Sunday morning.
Order, honorable senator.
On Sunday morning,
order,
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable senators, can the senator
Mr. Speaker, on Sunday morning, as others are going to church.
Senator Karen, you can only take me around churches in Nairobi. Conclude.
But Mr. Speaker, as other people are going to church on Sunday morning, you will see another different type of church. And at some point, when they are very drunk, they will break into gospel song, and the DJ will lead them into a service and a mock service. And Mr. Speaker, when you see the videos that are coming from these parties, it is very sad because the age group, I would not be very concerned if it was Senator Mazayo involved in that. The age group is very worrying because these children, first of all, they don't have...
Honorable senators.
They don't have a source of income. They live with their parents, so they don't have a source of income. So my worry is, and the case study that we should also carry, where is this money for non-stop partying coming from? It could be funded by the popular Wababas, taking advantage of our girls. Mr. Speaker, this trend...
Senator Karen, I think we've understood what you meant. Let's leave it at that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Hezena. Senator Hezena, proceed to make your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And this is a request for a statement on waste management in Samburu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the state of waste management in Samburu County. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide an overview of the waste management infrastructure and systems currently in place within Samburu County, particularly in Maralal Town, highlighting any recent improvements. Secondly, provide details on the budgetary allocation for garbage collection and sewerage services for the county for the financial year 2023-2024, and table the itemized list of all payments made so far to each garbage collector and sewerage service provider. And thirdly, elaborate on any short and long-term initiatives or collaborations within the relevant stakeholders aimed at promoting waste reduction, recycling, and community engagement to enhance overall cleanliness and sanitation within the county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Miraj.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the unsafe measures and protocols by employees of the county government of Mombasa responding to flood disaster in the county. In the statement, the committee should state the numbers of persons engaged by the county government of Mombasa to unclog stormwater drainage systems in the county to mitigate against floods. Further stating whether the said individuals are employees or volunteers of the county government, giving their terms of employment. 2, provide the number of persons involved in the unclogging of water storm drainages in Mombasa County who lost their lives and ones injured during the exercise. 3, state whether the individuals involved in the rescue of floods victims had prior trainings and skills, safety equipment and tools, and confirm if there were lapses in adhering to safety standards leading to loss of lives. And 4, outline the emergency interventions put in place to promote the welfare and safety of county employees involved in disasters responses, including medical care for the injured and compensation plans for families of disaster response personnel who die in the line of duty. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Lomenan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads and Transportation regarding the need for construction of feeder roads in the boundary-prone North Rift counties of Turkana, Samburu, Baringo, and West Pokot, with a view to opening up the area and boosting security operations. In the statement, the committee should, 1, state the plans the government has, if any, to construct and grade the following rural access feeder roads in the region. Specifically, A, Marigat, Kapedo, Lomelo, Napetom, Lokori, Lokwamosing, Nakukulas, Lokicher Road. B, Lomelo, Nadome, Nilukia, Kamuge, Lokori Road. And C, Lokori Kidewa, Parigati, Baragoi Road, all in Suguta Sub-County, Turkana East Constituency. A, Kakongo, Lokwamosing Road. B, Loyapat Lokwar Road. C, Lokwar Kakongo Road. D, Lorokon Nakwamoru, Kapelibok, Juluk, Ocherelim, Kotarik Road. E. Juluk, Kalomwe, Nariwomoru Road. F. Kainuk, Lotongot, Ochakula Road. G. Kakongo, Nariamao, Ocheresekon, Namambu Road. And H. Nakabosan, Nakwakipi, Nakaparaparat, all in Aro Sub-County in Turkana South Constituency. And finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, Locherelim Lopuke Road, Naipa Moruongor Road, Naipa Ulukuse Napaka Akali Road, Lobei Kangole Lorengipi Road, all in Lokriama Sub-County, Loima Constituency. And 2, provide the timelines within which the government will conclude the works on these roads to facilitate access to the government services and aid in curbing lawlessness in these said areas. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chimera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A request for a statement on the brutal attack on tourists at Pinewood Beach Resort and Spa in Diani, Kwale County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the recent attack incident at the Pinewood Beach Resort and Spa in Diani, Kwale County. In the statement, the committee should, number 1, Mr. Speaker, provide a comprehensive overview of the security incidents at the Pinewood Beach Resort and Spa, including the number of individuals involved, the extent of injuries sustained by the guests and staff, and the health status of those affected. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, outline actions taken by the relevant authorities to address and resolve the security breach at the resort, highlighting measures put in place by the government to ensure the safety and security of tourists, guests, and employees in Kenya's hospitality sector, particularly on popular tourist destinations like Diani. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, clarify whether there are any existing security protocols and regulations governing the protection of hotels and resorts, and if so, assess the effectiveness in preventing such incidents. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, investigate the coordination between law enforcement agencies and private security firms in their response to security threats at tourist establishments, providing an update on the progress of ongoing investigations into the identity and motives of the attackers and bringing them to book. And last, Mr. Speaker, recommend strategies to enhance the overall security of Kenya's tourism sector, emphasizing the importance of promoting a secure and welcoming environment for both domestic and international visitors. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi, your statement was called earlier and it was dropped because you were not in the chamber. However, having explained your absence to the satisfaction of the chair, you may now proceed to read the statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me that opportunity. Indeed, I was still chairing the meeting of CPIC. Mr. Speaker, I wish to request for a statement on the implementation of automated revenue collection and management systems in counties. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget regarding the implementation of automated revenue collection and management systems in counties. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide a status update on the implementation of automated revenue collection and management systems in all the 47 counties, disclosing details on the nature and cost of systems, the respective vendors, and the total revenue collected by the systems so far. Number 2, clarify whether the Commission on Revenue Allocation, CRA, was involved in the assessment of the suitability of the respective systems, and if so, highlight the recommendations made by the Commission pursuant to Article 216(2) of the Constitution. 3, undertake a comprehensive system audit of all the systems to include a detailed database level audit, a data storage infrastructure audit, a network security audit, a detailed application system audit, and a systems administration mechanism audit. Number 4, cause the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority to assess and report on the adherence of the tendering process, contractual and service level agreements to applicable laws and regulations. And 5, cause the Office of the Auditor General to assess and report on the value for money and indicate the impact of the systems on the on-source revenue in the respective counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to take a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the relaying of erroneous results for the 2023 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education by the Kenya National Examination Council. In this statement, Mr. Speaker, I need the committee to disclose the nature of agreement between the NEC and the SMS provider contracted to release the 2023 KCPE results, indicating the provider's level of access to NEC servers that host the results and the security protocols in place. Number 2, table the 2023 KCPE results for Brainstar Academy, Kitengela International School, and Moi Kabarak Primary School, clarifying whether an audit of the results was conducted to ascertain their accuracy. 3, report on the suitability of the SMS results relaying system in the relaying results of future examinations, noting that the 2023 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations results are yet to be released. And finally, Mr. Speaker, state the measures in place, if any, to address the anomalies arising from the SMS results relaying system in order to prevent recurrence of the same. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, before we move to the statements by committee chairpersons, allow me to make the following communication. Honorable Senators, as you may recall, at the sitting of the Senate held on Thursday, 5th of October 2023, the temporary Speaker, then Senator Abdul Haji MP, directed the Senator for Vihiga County, Senator Godfrey Osotsi MP, to substantiate utterances made in the course of debate. The direction of the Speaker was made following a point of order by Senator Fonandi, Senator Samson Cherankei MP, pursuant to Standing Order 105.1. At this point of order, Senator Samson Cherankei MP stated as follows: under Standing Order number 105 and 110, is it in order for my brother Senator Osotsi to incite the people of Aldai and Vihiga by alleging and stating as a matter of fact on the floor of the House that there are border clashes in Serem and Vihiga. This has not been recorded in any police station. A reading of the Hansard indicates that the statement that Senator Godfrey Osotsi MP was called upon to substantiate states as follows: We've had issues even recently in my county, in the boundary between Vihiga and Aldai at a place near Serem. This was very recent, in the last month. The attackers came, provoked and attacked a village, killed animals, burned them, injured people, and burned houses. That was not given the coverage that Sondu is now being given now. Honorable Senator, Standing Order 105.1 states as follows: A senator shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts that the senator alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. Further, Standing Order 1052 states as follows: if a senator has sufficient reason to convince the Speaker that the senator is unable to substantiate the allegation instantly, the Speaker shall require such senator substantiate the allegations not later than the sitting day, the next sitting day, failure to which the senator shall be deemed to be disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 121, unless the senator withdraws the allegations and gives a suitable apology. At the sitting of the Senate held on the 5th of October 2023, Senator Osotsi MP was not able to substantiate his statements as required under Standing Order 1051. Senator Osotsi subsequently requested to be allowed by the Speaker to provide the evidence at the next sitting in accordance with Standing Order 1052. On Wednesday, 18th of October 2023, I consequently invited Senator Osotsi MP to table the evidence in support of the statement made on Thursday, 5th of October 2023. Thereupon, the said senator tabled a USB flash drive containing electronic material in support of his claim. I thereafter undertook to review the evidence and give a ruling on this matter. Further, via the later dated 19th of October 2023, the senator requested for the admission of a certified copy of a charge sheet dated 16th of August 2023, police case number 722/237/2023, and OB number 3/15/8/2023 as part of the evidence on the allegations made. Following the tabling of the evidence by Senator Osotsi MP, I undertook to review the documents and give a ruling on the matter, as it was not practical to make a determination then. Now, honorable senators, as you may recall, in my communication to the Senate made on Thursday, 16th of November 2023, I indicated to the House that any document evidence tabled by a senator in this House as evidence for substantiation of any allegations made under Standing Order number 105 must pass a certain threshold. Thereafter, highlighted the parameters for undertaking an assessment of the evidence table, including: one, is the evidence table from a source which by parliamentary practice is official and admissible? And two, if the answer to A is in the affirmative, does the evidence relate to and verify the claim that was made and for which substantiation was required? Honorable senators, that being the case, the first parameter to which is subjected the documents or material table was whether the evidence table was from a source which by parliamentary practice is official and admissible. A review of the USB flash drive indicates that it contained a folder titled Border Clashes in Kaptikani, Koitabut. The folder had the following: an undated 38 seconds TV 47 Kenya video clip showing images of dilapidated buildings and cut banana trees named in a disturbing incident on August 15th, year not indicated. A group of 100 youths attacked Koitabut village, Nandi County, leaving destruction in their wake. Two, an undated 2-minute, 25-second Citizen TV news video clip named Maafisa na wakazi wa Kapkitani wafanya kikao na viongozi kufuatia visa vya uvamizi kaunti ya Nandi. The video clip indicates the residents of Kaptikani village in Aldai constituency and security personnel in the area held a meeting following an attack on an individual in the area, and that 3 houses were burnt and property destroyed. The news clip also indicates that the attack was an alleged retaliatory following the death of a gentleman in the area and destruction of his motorbike. The clip further indicates that 3 suspects have been arrested in connection with the retaliatory attack. 3, an undated video clip named VAD 2023-1018 WA000 showing a burnt structure and livestock. And 4, an image named WhatsApp image 2023-1018 at 13:08:15 showing burnt livestock. As you're all aware, established practice in the Parliament of Kenya and in comparative jurisdictions is that extracts from newspapers and other media may not be tabled as evidence for substantiation of claims. This is buttressed by Standing Order 55, which provides as follows. The facts on which a request for statement is based may be said briefly, but extracts from newspapers and other media or quotations from speeches shall not be admissible. Consequently, and in accordance with this established parliamentary practice, the news clips from TV4 Kenya and Citizen TV News tabled by Senator Osotsi MP are inadmissible for purposes of substantiating any claim. Now, honorable senators, the second parameter, which is whether the evidence table relates to and verifies the claim that was made and for which substantiation was required. With respect to the video clip named VAD 2023-101, 8 WAOO and WhatsApp image 2023-1018 at 13:08:15, they show images of bound livestock and structures. And in my assessment, nothing in the video clips categorically states and makes reference to the allegation made by Senator Osotsi. I therefore find it difficult to admit these two videos as evidence for purposes of substantiation. The final document submitted by Senator Osotsi was a copy of a charge sheet dated 16th of August 2023. As required under Standing Order 152, the evidence to be tabled by a senator for purposes of substantiation is to be tabled at the next sitting day. A senator required to substantiate an allegation is expected to table all documents for such substantiation as required under the standing orders on the day appointed for substantiation. This being the case, and noting that Senator Osotsi submitted a letter dated 19th of October 2023 and received in the office of the Speaker on 23rd of October 2023, making a request to allow the charge sheet to be admitted for substantiation, I find that the charge sheet is inadmissible. The charge sheet ought to have been tabled in the Senate on the 18th of October 2023 and thereby recorded as part of the documents or material submitted for substantiation. In any case, the charge sheet indicates that an offense was committed on the 15th of August 2023 by two individuals who are said to have willfully and unlawfully set fire to a dwelling house valued at Kenya shillings 1.750 million at Kemeloi location in Nandi South Sub-County in Nandi County. The charge sheet adduced as evidence does not make a connection to the allegation made by Senator Osotsi. Honorable Senators, I therefore find and rule that in respect to the challenge by Senator Samson Cherangei MP to substantiate the claim relating to clashes at the border between Nandi and Vihiga counties at a place called Serem, Senator Osotsi MP did not table any evidence or provide an explanation to substantiate this claim as required. The claim was accordingly not substantiated. In accordance with my findings, in relation to the admissibility of the documents tabled by the said senator and the failure to meet the threshold of substantiation in respect to the claims made, I now require Senator Osotsi pursuant to Standing Order number 1052 to withdraw and apologize in respect of the claims that there have been clashes in the boundary between Vihiga and Aldai at a place called Serem. I also proceed to caution, as provided for in Standing Order 152, that failure to withdraw and apologize will result in the senator being deemed to be disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 121, and I will, at that juncture then, require the senator to withdraw. So, Senator Osotsi, you may now proceed to either withdraw that statement and apologize or allow the chair to make further orders.
Mr. Speaker, I have listened to your ruling very carefully. I provided whatever documents I provided, and I am not willing to withdraw. But because I know the event happened, and the documents I provided were the documents I have as the evidence. But the truth of the matter is that the clashes happened, and even the Kenyans who are watching me today from that region know it happened. So, Mr. Speaker, I'll be willing to withdraw from the chamber.
Order, honorable senators. I have another communication to make. What is the point of order, Senator Kathuri?
Mr. Speaker, you know Senator Osodi should wait for you to make the ruling. Because that is the one. I saw last week when Senator Sifuna also descended to get out of the chamber himself without your ruling, Mr. Speaker. This trend is not really the best practice. So the senators should wait so that you make your ruling. And then, because he is chasing himself out of the chamber, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable senators.
Order.
Point of order, Speaker. What is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, this is not a very light matter, as some want just to portray and wish it away. Mr. Speaker, a trend is emerging, and if you don't nip it in the bud, you may lose control over this House. You are constitutionally mandated to run this House and bring order. It has become a habit of a number of senators because they think the Speaker is just sending me away. What is it after all? That's why even in the last few weeks, now they've begun this exercise of saying, I can even walk away before you make a pronouncement. Mr. Speaker, the sanctions that can be passed to a senator for being grossly disorderly are enumerated and listed. And it is not just about walking out of the House or being told, come back next week on Tuesday. Mr. Speaker, can you give a ruling and guide this House on one, what happens to senators who continually show this level of defiance because they are few and they are known? Number two, Mr. Speaker, whether it is in order for a senator to look a speaker straight in the eye and say, I don't need you to even guide me on what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I find that to be gravely, first of all, it is arrogant, it is wrong, and it undermines the authority of this House. Mr. Speaker, please guide this House. Otherwise, colleague senators will begin this habit. And you will not have anything that you'll do because a culture will have been set.
Yes, Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would have requested Senator Cherry to substantiate when he says that trend is being set by a few senators who are known but are not going in that direction, Mr. Speaker. The direction I want to take will be, the Speaker, you gave Senator Osodi two options. The option of either substantiating or apologizing. I have the two options. One was either apologize, withdraw and apologize, or walk out of the chamber. You know the problem is the Speaker.
Order, honorable senators. May the senator be heard in silence.
You know, if you listen, then you benefit. If you don't listen, if you're just waiting for your turn to speak, then you don't benefit. The Speaker, Senator Osodi opted for the option of leaving the chamber. And the Speaker, after that, we had moved to the next order. The Speaker, on our side as leadership of the minority, we are also finding it very difficult to reconcile ourselves with a growing trend where members seated in the chamber want to take up the roles of the Speaker and direct the Speaker on how to conduct the business of this House with the Speaker. As a leadership of this side, Mr. Speaker, we take great exception to that trend. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, let us not spend more time on this particular matter. Let us not spend more time on this particular matter, Senator Mazayo, because both sides, as you speak, you're basically trying to basically trying to tell the Speaker that you better run this House in this manner. Now, honorable senators, let me go straight to the case at hand, the case of Senator Osotsi. Having read the ruling, the first option given was for the senator to withdraw and apologize. And I stated that if you're unable to do that, then I will make further orders. I said it very clear. Now, of course, Senator Osotsi, having failed or refused to withdraw and apologize, it was upon the Speaker then to communicate the next course of action. Because under Standing Order 121, if you're disorderly, it does not mean automatically you have to withdraw from the chamber. Maybe I was going to caution him, because that is one of the options available under Standing Order 121. Senator Osotsi has breached Standing Order 121, not Standing Order 122. And the options available to a Speaker once a senator breaches Standing Order 121 is one, he can give caution and caution the senator, or he can order the senator to withdraw for the remainder of the sitting. And therefore the further orders would have been either I would have cautioned Senator Osotsi under Standing Order 121, or I would have asked him to withdraw. He chose to walk out. But for purposes of the record, Senator Osotsi, what I intended to rule, and unfortunately you decided to take the other option, I was inclined to caution you so that you proceed with today's sittings. However, having invited me to order you to withdraw, I will abide by your invitation and ask you to withdraw from the chamber for the remainder of today's sitting. Now, honorable senators, I have the following communication to make. As you may recall, during the morning sitting of the Senate held on Wednesday, 22nd November 2023, the temporary Speaker, Senator Abdul Haji MP, directed Senator Samson Cherangei MP to withdraw from the presence of the Senate for disorderly conduct pursuant to Standing Order 984. Standing Order 984 states that the Speaker shall order any senator who unnecessarily and persistently interrupts proceedings or consults loudly and disruptly to withdraw from the chamber, and Standing Order 121 shall apply to any such senator. Standing Order 121 2B provides for the consequences of creating disorder in the Senate. The Standing Order states as follows: the Speaker may call a senator whose conduct is disorderly to order and order the senator to withdraw from the precincts of the Senate for the remainder of that day's sitting. It is on this basis that the then temporary Speaker, Senator Abdul Haji MP, orders Senator Cherangei to withdraw from the precincts of the Senate, as Senator Cherangei was creating disorder by unnecessarily interrupting the proceedings and consulting in a disruptive manner. Honorable Senators, you will also recall that at the sitting of the Senate held on Tuesday, 28 November 2023, the Senator for Kakamega County, Senator Boni Halwale MP, rose on a point of order, calling to question the conduct of Senator Samson Cherangei MP following the withdrawal from the chamber as directed by the temporary Speaker on the morning sitting of Wednesday, 22nd November 2023. In the point of order, Senator Boni MP alleged that the Senator Chirenge MP, after being directed to withdraw from the Senate, proceeded to the Parliamentary Media Center, whereupon Senator Chirenge addressed the media on various matters. Senator Boni stated as follows: "My attention was drawn to the fact that no sooner had the senator been ordered out than he went to the media center and addressed the press. I therefore would like you to guide us understanding order number 122 on gross disorderly conduct, whether the senator of Nandi County, by staying in the premises of this parliament, did or did not defy a ruling of the chairperson. It is at this point that I undertook to establish the facts and give a ruling at the next sitting. Honorable Senators, on inquiry into the matter, I have established that Senator Chirenge MP, after withdrawing from the chamber as directed by the temporary speaker on Wednesday, 22nd November 2023, proceeded to the Senate lounge where he had tea and interacted with other senators. 2, proceeded to Parliament Media Center and addressed the media. 3, took lunch at the Parliament restaurant. 4, disregarded the direction of the Chief Sergeant-at-Arms to withdraw from the premises of Parliament. And finally, attempted to access the Senate chamber for the afternoon sitting on Wednesday, 22nd November 2023. From the foregoing, it can be noted that Senator Samson Chirenge MP was indeed within the Parliament buildings after being directed by the Speaker to withdraw from the premises of Parliament pursuant to Standing Order 121. Honourable Senators, for the avoidance of doubt and for the benefit of all honourable Senators, Section 3.1 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, read together with Standing Order 2 of the Senate, Standing Orders, defines the premises of Parliament to include the chamber of the Senate and of the National Assembly, every part of the buildings in which the chambers are situated, the offices of Parliament, the galleries and places provided for the use and accommodation of members of Parliament, members of the public and representatives of the press, and any forecourt, yard, garden, enclosure, or open space appurtenant thereto and used as provided for the purposes of Parliament. The offices of Parliament include the places within such offices that are provided for the use of members of Parliament, members of staff, members of the public and the press, committee rooms and other meeting places provided as used for Parliament's purposes. This being the case, a senator who has been called to order for disorderly conduct and subsequently directed to withdraw from the premises of Parliament, in accordance with the standing orders, must withdraw from the chamber and all other areas referred to under the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act and Standing Order 2 of the Senate and the National Assembly as such. As places provided for the use and accommodation of members of Parliament, members of public and representatives of the press, the dining areas and any other place provided or used for Parliament's purposes. Honourable Senators, this is not the first time that the matter of disorderly conduct in the Senate has arisen. Indeed, Senator Samson Chirenge MP has been called out to order for disorderly conduct severally and directed to withdraw from the Senate on 3 occasions, the most recent incident being on Wednesday, 22nd November 2023. I have made several directives from the Chair and issued a substantive ruling on 28 February 2023 with regard to disorder in the Senate. In the ruling, I cautioned honourable senators to observe decorum, respect to the chair, and maintain order in the Senate, and that instances of disorderly conduct will be dealt with without fear or favour, and that there will be no leniency, whether the disorder emanates from the majority or minority side of the Senate. Honourable Senators, Standing Order 122.1 highlights the instances in which a senator displays gross disorderly conduct, which includes defies a ruling or direction of the Speaker or Chairperson of the committee. The sanctions for the conduct of such senator are provided for under Standing Order 122, which states the Speaker may call a senator whose conduct is grossly disorderly to order and shall order the senator to withdraw immediately from the premises of Parliament on the first occasion for a maximum of 3 sitting days, including the sitting day of suspension, and B, on the second or subsequent occasion during the same session for a minimum of 7 sitting days and a maximum of 21 sitting days, including the day of suspension. Honorable Senators, by a letter reference number NCS/113-2023, dated the 29th of November 2023, and received in my office on Wednesday, 29th November 2023, Senator Samson Cherargei, MP, expressed regret and requested for pardon for his failure to adhere to the directions of the Speaker to withdraw from the Presence of Parliament on Wednesday, 22nd November 2023. However, I find the actions of Senator Cherargei, MP, after being directed to withdraw from the chamber on Wednesday, 22nd November 2023, pursuant to Standing Order 121-2B, amounting to defying a ruling and direction of the Speaker. The Senator's action exhibited disdain for his colleagues, the Speaker, and the Senate as a whole. I therefore find that the conduct of Senator Cherargei, MP, on the stated day to be grossly disorderly. In addition, while at the Parliament Media Center, Senator Cherargei made comments which amounted to casting aspersions on the integrity of the chair, honorable senators, and the Senate in general. I find the statements made by the Senator most disrespectful and contemptuous of the Senate. The statements having been made outside the formal proceedings of the Senate may not attract the withdrawal as contemplated under Standing Order 102. I, however, reprimand Senator Samson Cherargei, MP, for the said comments, and I will not hesitate in future to refer such actions to the Committee on Powers and Privileges for consideration. Honorable Senators, this being the first occasion for Samson Cherargei, MP, to be grossly disorderly under Standing Order 122 in this session, on account that the Senator expressed remorse for his actions on Wednesday, 22nd November 2023, I accept the apology and take this opportunity to caution Senator Cherargei that such behavior will not be tolerated henceforth. I will not hesitate to invoke the provisions of Standing Order 122 on Senator Cherargei, MP, in the event of gross disorderly on his part. I thank you. Next order. Now we'll move to statements pursuant to Standing Order 56-1. These are the statements by committee chairpersons.
To the next clause, next bit of the, I think it was clause 18, we have already a very elaborate reporting mechanism, which I have seen in 18, that will deal with audited financial accounts. What shall the National Assembly do with annual reports, quarterly reports, financial reports? I am here to be convinced by the chair what the thinking of the committee was in National Assembly. Where will these reports go to? And what will they do with them? Because National Assembly oversights state corporations but is not involved in their day-to-day running. Day-to-day running should be left to the National Treasury, and probably the Auditor General could get a copy. But even this, I would actually propose, Honorable Chair, that the Chair agrees that we drop the amendment on National Assembly, but instead we even remove Commission on Revenue Allocation and Control of Budget. I don't see their role. Thank you.
I propose the question that the amendment be amended as proposed by the Majority Leader. Chairman?
Chair, I tend to disagree with the Majority Leader because, one, we are just doing our oversight role as it is in the Constitution of this country. Two, it is also reasonable enough that these body is oversighted and made sure that the resources being channeled to this board is well articulated in terms of accounting and in terms of making sure that the right thing is being done by the board. It has got, there is no harm in these three bodies having the information on how, and in any case, there are only reports that we have got to look at and also make sure that whatever they are doing is right. So I don't know the import of the majority leader why these reports cannot be spread to these institutions that we have suggested.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to agree with the majority leader, more specifically on the issue of quarterly reports. Quarterly reports are working reports, which shall actually be summed up in the annual reports, which shall come to the House. So by bringing in quarterly reports, we are actually micromanaging the institution, and that is the work of the board, that is the work of the institution, Chair. So I want to disagree with the Chair on that, so that...
Here, the Honorable Meli, then we'll come to you, Chairman.
Yes. So that all the quarterly reports, there are 4 quarters in a year, Madam Chair. Therefore, if these reports are brought every quarter, those are actually what we call the working reports of committees, and they shall be tabled before boards. Boards work on them and prepare now the summative annual report that shall be tabled before the House. Thank you.
Chairman?
Chair, I don't know where the Chair of Education and the majority leader have gotten this word quarterly report. Ensure that reports of the board are also submitted to the National Assembly to enable.
Would you like to be informed by the majority leader?
I just want to...
would you like to be informed by the majority leader?
No, I wouldn't like to be informed because... Yes.
Yes, majority leader.
Now, Chair, since he does not want to be informed, let me educate him. The bill, we are amending the bill, not your talking notes. The bill reads, the board shall prepare quarterly. That is where I'm getting quarterly. We are amending the bill. We are legislating the bill, Chairman. And you know, Honorable Speaker, maybe I should help the Chair. This is why the Speaker keeps encouraging our chairs of committees to be present in the House throughout. So that when we are chairs, we know what goes on in the House. Because the Chair cannot be amending a bill and he doesn't even have a copy of the bill, and I will donate a copy of the bill to him. So that, Honorable Speaker, and our argument is simple, because I have also consulted with the council in charge of the committee. There is no basis for the National Assembly to get quarterly reports. If anything, where will these quarterly reports go to? Our reports, financial reports, come to either our Public Investments Committee in the case of a board like this, or to the Public Accounts Committee. They look at only audited accounts. So if this report was to come to this House, what will this House do with it? Is a question. And I would really want to implore the Chair to drop that amendment and instead move the further amendment to also delete the need for these reports to go to the Controller of Budget. Since this is a board, the Controller of Budget has no business with the board. They go to the National Treasury and a copy to the Auditor General. The Auditor General has basis to start looking at the operations of that organization ahead of the close of the financial year.
Yeah, that is in clause 20, Chair. You may make reference as we give one more person a chance. Honorable Tongoyo.
Yeah, Chair. Actually, this is just to echo what the Leader of Majority have said. You know, it's not the first board. And we have got always a standard practice on how the boards are run and operated. And of course, any board that, if there is a board, they report, the quarterly reports are being analyzed by the board. So I support that this is being dropped and have it amended. as suggested by the Leader of Majority. Madam Chair.
Honorable Owen Bayer. Well, you have an intervention unless you didn't want to make comments on this.
I just wanted
to
support the amendment by the majority leader.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, what would we do with quarterly reports in this House? Which committee would handle them? So I think it's in good order that we only receive annual reports and audited accounts. Thank you.
Honorable Esuda. Thank you very much. I now put the question, which is that the amendment be amended as proposed by the majority leader. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 20 be amended as proposed. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 20 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 21.
I propose the question, which is that clause 21 be part of the bill. Mover.
Chair, I drop the whole of clause 21.
All amendments in clause 1 are dropped there. Therefore, I now put the question that clause 21 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 22.
I propose the question that clause 22 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I now put the question, which is that clause 22 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 23.
I propose the question that clause 23 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 23 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Chair, the justification, the amendment 6(2)(a) eliminate the subjectivity in the provision which would be open to abuse. Then B, provide correct grammatical flaw in subclause 4.
I don't see any interest in this. Therefore, I put the question, which is that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the chairman. I put the question, which is that clause 23 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 23 be amended as part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 24, 25, and 26.
I propose the question, which is that clause 24, 25, and 26 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I put the question, which is that clause 24, 25, and 26 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 27.
I propose the question that clause 27 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 27 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. The justification, the amendment seeks to ensure that the mandate of the National Lottery Board shall be limited to the conduct of the National Lottery and not to gambling.
After I propose the question, which is that clause 27 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Majority Leader.
Honorable Chair, I want to move a further amendment so that instead of deleting the word gambling, we add to read, adopt strategic and inclusive frameworks for responsible gambling and the conduct of the National Lottery. Because, Honorable Speaker, this lottery is also gambling. So if we remove the mandate of the Cabinet Secretary and the board from ensuring that there is responsible gambling, then we'll be doing injustice to all the issues that I had people speaking to, even when we were speaking on the bill on gambling and even on this bill, that there ought to be very responsible gambling. So I would propose that we drop the deletion and instead add in the conduct of the National Lottery. So to read, adopt strategic and inclusive framework for responsible gambling and in the conduct of the National Lottery.
I propose the question, which is that the amendment be amended as proposed by the majority leader. Chairman.
I concur.
I now put the question, which is that the amendment be amended as proposed by the majority leader. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 27 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 27 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 28.
I propose the question that clause 28 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 28 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Justification. The amendment seeks to ensure consistency as the provision speaks on variations of the conditions of the license to operate the National Lottery, and B, ensure that where the operator fails to give reasons, the license shall be varied and not invalidated for that reason.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 28 be amended as proposed by the chairman. The Honorable Meli.
Chair, I want to say that I want the mover to come out so that it is clear. When a license is issued, it is issued for a specific kind of business or a specific kind of activity in the gambling or lottery. But this issue of varying, he has to come out clearly, because one license cannot serve for another activity. But kindly, I would request that he comes back again.
Chairman?
The variation, Chair, is on the same license. It is not speaking on any other license, Chair. So it stands on the same, the variation and the invalidation, and the activity is on the same activity.
It's the same activity.
Yes.
Same activity. The Honorable Catherine Omanyo. Did you intend to comment on this one?
Yes, Madam Chair. The license should be issued once a year, renewable.
I now put the question, which is that clause 28 be amended as proposed by chairman. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 28 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 29 and 30.
I propose the question that clause 29 and 30 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I put the question that clause 29 and 30 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 31.
I propose the question, which is that clause 31 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 31 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Justification. This clause provides for the revocation of a license to operate the National Lottery and not for the suspension of the license. The provisions on suspensions of a license are contained in clause 32.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 31 be amended as proposed by chairman. There be no interest in this. I now put the question, which is that clause 31 as amended be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 31 be amended as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 32.
I propose the question that clause 32 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 32 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Justification: the word mutatis mutandis is legalese, whose meaning may not be understood by a lay person. Therefore, there is need to draft the provision in symbol language.
I propose the question that clause 32 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. Majority Leader?
Chair, I object. You know, we are law, we are legislating, and law is legalese. So therefore, and the lawyers even in the committee should have explained to the members what is mutati. Chair, I was actually going to Google, because any layman like myself can Google what mutatis mutandis means. And Honorable Speaker, it means with necessary modifications, used when comparing two or more cases or situations, making necessary alterations while not affecting the main point at issue. Therefore, it is important for that to be there, because you are saying the provisions under the suspension, revocation in 31, the one stipulated all the way to number 6, will apply as they are with necessary modifications in 32. So if you remove these mutatis mutandis, and it is not mutandi. Mutandi is someone from Eastern. I heard Honorable Soro saying mutinda. Mutatis mutandis.
You are replacing mutatis mutandis with the necessary modifications.
Yes.
Meaning the same.
Yes. So why don't we just leave it to stay?
Chairman?
Chair, you can see even the majority leader himself is having problems with the same terminologies, with the mutantis and the mutandis. So you can imagine the Wanjiku in the village, and we are making this law to be understood very clearly so that somebody cannot enter into issues purporting to have not understood the terminologies that are used. So I beg to say that we have replaced the same, mutatis, mutandis, and substituting therefore with the necessary modifications. So I uphold my...
Honorable Meli.
Chair, I do support the mover, the chair of sports, that actually we need to make the law readable, acceptable, and understandable to the people. Not actually having archaic foreign terms that are not easily understood. So I think the chair is very current, and we really need to support that.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Chair, I have been convinced by the chair that this mutandi is not in place.
Thank you. Honorable
That with
Catherine
necessary
Omanyo.
modifications we can work. So let me support the chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Catherine Omanyo.
Thank you, Chair. This language that is under seal or incognito is not good even to the Wanjukus or Nafulas of today. So simplicity is better because it is fair to both the lawyer and the other person who needs to also be part of understanding.
Thank you. So I now put the question, which is that clause 32 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 32 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 33 and 34.
I propose the question that clause 33 and 34 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I put the question, which is that clause 33 and 34 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 35.
I propose the question that clause 35 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 35 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Justification: the bill defines the word child in the interpretation clause. Therefore, there is need to maintain consistency in the drafting.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 35 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. There be no interest. I put the question, which is that clause 35 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 35 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many... Clause 35 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 36, 37, 38, and 39.
I propose the question, which is that clause 36, 37, 38, and 39 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I now put the question, which is that clause 36, 37, 38, and 39 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 40.
I propose the question that clause 40 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 40 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Justification: the amendment seeks to 1. Eliminate conflict. The provision provides that the prize monies paid under the Act shall not be charged income tax. An exemption to income tax is best provided for under the Income Tax Act, Cap 470. The prize monies should be exempted through an amendment to the first schedule of the Act. B, ensure that the bill complies with the provisions of the Unclaimed Financial Assets Act, number 40 of 2011, in regards to the assets that are presumed to be abandoned. And lastly, obligate an operator to maintain a register of prizes surrendered to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority for purposes of accountability.
Thank you. I now propose the question that clause 40 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Majority Leader?
Chair, I support, and particularly on deletion of subclause 3, which was exempting the prize monies paid under this Act from income tax. In fact, my view was that this would have been a very unconstitutional provision in the bill, and I therefore support.
Thank you. I now propose the question that clause 40 be amended as proposed by chairman. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 40 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 41.
I propose the question that clause 41 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 41 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Justification: this is to provide clarity on the entity who is to be audited by a person appointed by the regulatory authority.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 41 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. I do not see any interest in this, so I now put the question. I now put the question, which is at clause 41 as amended. Clause 41 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 41 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 42.
I propose the question that clause 42 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 42 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Justification. The word board has already been defined in the bill to mean the National Lottery Board. Therefore, reference to the word board means the National Lottery Board.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 42 be amended as proposed by the chairman. There be no interest. I now put the question, which is that clause 42 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 42 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 43.
I propose the question that clause 43 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 43 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. The justification, the word board has already been defined in the bill to mean the National Lottery Board. Therefore, reference to the word board means the National Lottery Board.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 43 be amended as proposed by the chairman. I do not see any interest in this, so I now put the question that clause 43 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 43 be as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 44.
I propose the question that clause 44 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 44 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Justification, the amendment 6 to provide that the board shall be responsible for the administration and not oversight of the fund to avoid conflict of interest. B, restrict the potential recipients of the fund to statutory bodies. C, ensure that the administrative and operational costs for the regulatory authority and the board is capped at the 3% and not 5% according to clause 42(2). And D, ensuring that the proceeds of the national lottery shall be channeled towards the good cause of the state actors.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 44 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Since I do not... The majority leader?
I just want the chair to take us slowly because he has spoken. I got the one on the first bit. So if he can just take us clause by clause, because he's just reading his justification in a very jaggled up manner. Just for the first one is clear, but M, inserting what is the justification for M, what is the justification for the last one?
Chairman, please explain further the justifications.
M, ensure that ceiling of the amount of money that may be spent from the fund on administrative expenses does not exceed 5% of the total funds in fiasco year. What the justification on that one is that ensure that, yes, that is, we are reducing it from 5 to 3%. I think that's clear. The last one is ensure that the proceeds of the National Lottery shall be channeled towards good causes of state actors. C. Yes. C. Determine in accordance with the relevant regulations. Yes. Very well. Do you hear it? Yeah.
If you can give us a minute. Yes. You see, it says the act in the motion.
Chairman, would you like to explain further as we wait for further consultation?
What we intend to cure, Chair, is that we will want to make sure that these funds are not abused in any way. And therefore, the good causes will be identified by the state.
You are proposing to delete, including allocations to state and non-state actors. That is what you want to delete?
Yes. Just a minute.
Majority Leader.
Chair, I want to persuade the chair to drop the last bit that says the board shall, while proposing and determining allocation, setting the criteria, or rather deleting the last sub-clause, which was saying that while proposing, the board, while proposing and determining the allocation, that's in the bill, setting the criteria and conditions for accessing the fund, ensure equitable distribution across the country, including allocations to state and non-state actors. The import of the amendment he's doing was pegged on another amendment on clause 21 that we have since dropped. So this cannot then sit properly here, because now the fund, as 21 appears in the bill, they are non-state actors.
Chairman, are you convinced?
I concur.
You concur?
Yeah. Yes, I'm dropping the amendments to the new proposed 3.
I now put the question that clause 44 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 44, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 45.
I propose the question that clause 45 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 45 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. The amendment seeks to ensure that the allocations are restricted to state actors, and B, ensure that the fund shall be restricted to raising additional revenue for the national government.
I propose the question that clause 45 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Honorable Catherine Omanyo. Honorable Kombe. Member for Magarini. You have indicated you want to say something about clause 45. What is your comment?
Thank you, Chair. I support the chairman.
The Honorable Dorothy Kiara. She stepped out. The Honorable Nelly.
You are removing names.
Chair, we need to actually give these monies to all deserving, noting that this is actually, these monies are to benefit for the welfare of the state, both non-state and state actors. More specifically, those maybe those who have been hit by floods. So we therefore drop A. I support that dropping.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Chair, I'm laughing because the Chair Education has now taken over the work of the Chair of Sports. he's dropping his amendment without the owner dropping it. He should be persuading the Chair Sports to drop A. And I think the Chair Sports is convinced that we should drop Part A, the one deleting non-state actors. And the reason is simple. There are many non-state actors, including the people of Magarini, who may want to benefit for money from flooding. And they are non-state actors. We should allow them to be able to access this money from the National Lottery.
Chairman, what is your comment? Are you convinced?
I concur, Chair.
You concur? So I now put the question, which is that clause 45 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that clause 45 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 46.
I propose the question that clause 46 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I now put the question, which is that clause 45 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 47.
I propose the question that clause 47 be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that clause 47 of the bill be amended as it appears in the order paper. Justification: the amendment seeks to provide proper grammatical flow and to ensure that the accessibility funds of the fund is restricted to state actors. That one we delete, we drop it, we drop that amendment. Because it is also related.
You have also dropped that amendment?
We dropped that amendment because it's also related.
So that means then there is no amendment?
Yes.
So I propose the question that, I now put the question that clause 47 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 48, 49, 50 and 51.
I propose the question that clause 48, 49, 50 and 51 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I now put the question that clause 48, 49, 50 and 51 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it.
New clause 5A.
We have a new clause. Chair.
Mover.
Thank you, Chair. I beg to move that new clause as it appears in the order paper be part of the bill. Justification: the amendment seeks to introduce provisions relating to vacancy and the removal of the members of the board, which is currently not provided for in the bill.
I propose the question that clause 5A be now read a second time. I now put the question, which is that the new clause 5A be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question, which is that new clause 5A be part of the bill. There be no interest. I put the question that clause 5A be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Schedule.
I propose the question that the schedule be the schedule of the bill. I now put the question, which is that the schedule be the schedule of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Mover. Chairman. Clause 2.
Clause 2. Underneath. It is not. I propose the amendment as it is on the order paper.
I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the chairman. There be no interest. I now put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Majority Leader?
Clause 2, Chair, we pushed the chair to move as he was still perusing his papers. So he had not gotten to the justification, and it's only fair before we make a decision, we get to hear the justification.
Chairman, this is the one concerning the cabinet secretary, whether it is the
clause
one.
2.
You have seen it?
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay. Yes.
I beg to move that clause 2 of the bill be amended as it appears in
You had already moved. It is just a justification, Chairman.
The amendment seeks to ensure that the cabinet secretary responsible for national administration shall provide the ministerial oversight of the National Lottery as well as to offer policy guidance. Further, the cabinet secretary for national administration will be best placed to put in place enforcement measures in the conduct of national lotteries as well as effective management of the risks associated with the industry such as tax evasion, money laundering, and financing of terrorism.
Thank you. I now put the question, which is that Leader of Majority?
Chair, now I've heard the justification. And if you go to 2, it says the cabinet secretary means the cabinet secretary for the time being responsible for matters relating to national lottery. And the chair tells us that the cabinet secretary in charge of national administration would be best placed to put enforcement measures in conduct of national lotteries. And I agree with the second bit on effective management of the risks associated with the industry such as tax evasion, money laundering, and financing of terrorism. But I'm wondering, would that be too restrictive to the head of state in terms of his general organization of government when you say that the minister responsible of a certain function is this minister-in-law. Because ideally, the cabinet secretary responsible for that docket is up to His Excellency the President then to designate what docket goes where. And I would therefore beg the chair to reconsider that particular amendment. And since we have representation in the board of the National Lottery Board, we included the principal secretary in charge of Interior. I think that should suffice so that when it comes to general organization of government, we do not restrict the president by law. Because what we are doing now is using legislation to organize government. Yet we do not run government and we do not organize government on behalf of the president. I would really ask the chair to drop that amendment.
Chairman, you have heard the majority leader. What is your comment?
Chair, I have heard the majority leader, but the import of this amendment is we are looking at the menace of gambling in this country. And the only ministry that can be able to make sure that this is sorted out is the Minister for Internal Security and National Administration. And that is why we had to make sure that we put it under this ministry because the ministry has the personnel to be able to actually combat this menace that we are talking about. So that is the justification. However, the leader of majority also has a point. And for that matter, I'll therefore buy his idea because I know maybe the president will even also use his wisdom to see that the ministry that has the capacity to handle this menace is allocated this portfolio. Thank you. I therefore
So you are
drop
convinced
this amendment.
by the comments of the majority leader?
I concur.
Are you saying you agree with the majority leader?
I agree. And
All right. Member for Bomet.
Thank you very much, Chair. In fact, I wanted also to maybe to support my chair, but the chair has already supported the majority leader. I wish my chair could have been listening. You know, I fall under this committee, and I wanted to say something.
Did you want to say something particularly on clause 2?
Yes, in this clause. In fact, I wanted to say that all the ministries fall under, the president is in charge of all the ministries, and mentioning that it is under this ministry means that even the president can do anything to whichever ministry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, I would like to ask you to go on record on the dropping of the amendment on clause 2.
I drop the amendment on clause 2.
Thank you. I now put the question. Now that there is no amendment, I put the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Long title.
I propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. I now put the question. There is an amendment on the title. Chairman.
The amendments I beg to move that the long title be amended as it appears on the order paper.
I propose the question that the long title be amended as proposed by the chairman. I now put the question that the long title be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. No amendment, so I put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. We now go to reporting. Mover.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the National Lottery Bill, National Assembly Bill number 69 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments.
I now put the question, which is that the committee do agree. I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the National Lottery Bill, National Assembly Bill number 69 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Thank you for your interest and patience on this particular undertaking, Committee of the Whole. We will now move to reporting, and I would therefore invite the chairperson.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the National Lottery Bill, National Assembly Bill number 69 of 2023, and approved the same with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Githua Wamashukuru, Member of Parliament for Kabete, and the Vice Chair of the Sports Committee, to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
I second. Thank you. Thank you. Members, I now propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report.
Chair, allow me to take this opportunity to thank the members of the Sports Committee and all these members who have sat.
Give Angela the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I was saying I thank members who have sat through this Committee of the Whole, because, Honorable Speaker, you know, this is where actual legislation is done. And I must commend all these members. Yes. And I do hope we shall have all the other members on Tuesday afternoon for them to testify and see what these few members who are here have been able to do this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Majority Leader. And with what you said, we will wait for the members to come on Wednesday afternoon and do the needful. Next order.
Honorable Speaker, maybe I would seek your indulgence, understanding on the number 53, that I do request we defer putting of the question to the next sitting.
Yeah, the putting of the question on the report of the House on the National Lottery Bill, Bill number 9 of 03, is deferred to Tuesday afternoon next week. Next order.
Order number 10, motion, sessional paper number 2 of 2023 on the national tax policy. Resumption of debate.
Members, debate on this started this afternoon. It's going on. The mover already moved. And so now you will not have the first bite on this, Majority Leader, today. Take some water and let's have the Honorable David Mboni, if he's in the House, contributing on this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to say one or two things on national tax policy. Mr. Speaker, the national tax policy in the country, I think this is the first one and is overdue. And I remember last Parliament, we were pushing Treasury to bring it to the House so that it can be adopted. Mr. Speaker, looking at the proposed tax policy, it has two aims. One, to create predictability in the laws, in the tax laws. Mr. Speaker, I've been being in Finance and National Planning Committee, where we handle the tax issues. Tax in this country are not be predictable. We had the cases whereby this time we are zero rating. This year we are zero rating some goods. The same goods next year we go to exempt. This creates a lot of uncertainty in terms of doing businesses. And to have predictability of the tax is very important. And the policy should propose that before we change any tax, the impact of tax should be analyzed so that the next one, we know the impact in terms of economic growth, because some of the taxes are very harmful to the economy. Mr. Speaker, the tax policy also proposes to expand the tax base. Mr. Speaker, I will say that manufacturing, finance and insurance, and ICT, the three sectors which contribute 17% of GDP, they actually contribute 53% of tax revenue in this country. So if you look at that, 70% of the GDP contribute 53% of the tax revenue. That means that these taxes, these three sectors are overtaxed. And therefore, it's important to expand the tax base. I would say that in 2013, our tax revenue to GDP was at 22%. Currently, is at 15%. Meaning what? Meaning, and globally accepted level is around 25% plus. So meaning that there are many other sectors, because the economy has been expanding, but our tax revenue to GDP are going down. That means that we are not doing well in terms of tax collection. When you look at the policy being in the committee, there are gaps. There are very many gaps in the policy. And I was actually wondering, was Treasury really ready to bring this policy? And I think it's something which they picked somewhere and they decided to bring to National Assembly. So there are few proposals which are very important. One, the policy, and I think this Treasury should be able to go through the policy and improve it so that it can be a good policy. So there's a need to provide for policy concerns, policy objectives, policy actions, and policy outcomes which are lacking in the tax policy. There's also a proposal to expand the tax base to include digital economy. I mean, these are sector which has been expanding. There are so many players in it, and there's a lot of money we can make it from there. There's also a proposal to expand in informal sector, to tax informal sector, and also agricultural sector. You know, agriculture contributes around 24% of tax of GDP. Yet it contributes less than 5% of tax revenue in this country. The policy should also provide for an efficient funding that ensures settlement of tax refunds. You know, there are so many countries, there are so many companies and businesses which are owned a lot of refunds by KRA. And therefore, they keep on going to KRA to look for their refunds, and those ones are affecting their operation, they are affecting their businesses. So the provision for funding for the refunds should be provided in the budget so that at least these people can be able to get their refund back. There are what we call incentives and exemptions. And these ones should only target manufacturing and investment, and should be sustained for not less than 5 years so that they can spur economic growth. So, you know, the other one is excise duty. Excise duty. Excise duty, currently we are actually imposing excess duty on each and everything. But you see, excise duty is supposed to be for luxury goods. So we are suggesting that the excise duty should go to luxury goods, communication services, and not essential goods like food, medicine, and extra. The policy should also eliminate double taxation. You remember when we tax our goods and we expand them to our neighboring countries, they become very expensive because there they have to be expanded. And lastly, here I want to say this. You know, it's not bad to tax, but there's an extent at which you can tax. Some goods, like cigarettes, beer, we have actually overdone it. And if you go to the borders, Kenya borders with our neighbors, you go to Busia, you go to Namanga, most of the goods consumed in those areas, cigarettes and beer, they are coming from from neighboring countries because they are cheaper there than here. So we also need to look at why should we keep on taxing some of these sectors. Some sectors are highly taxed, gambling and gaming. At times I even start wondering, why should we, as a country, say we don't require some of these sectors, and we do away with them. Mr. Speaker, high taxation reducing disposable income. You know, when we impose high tax, we do reduce disposable income, which in return reduces demand and production and tax revenue, and therefore the GDP. So we also need to look at this. Mr. Speaker, on the business side, I was looking at the figures of foreign direct investments in the country, and I was comparing 2002 and 2001. Uganda, 2002, they got the direct investment. They got to 1.2. Currently, last year they got 2.3, 2.5. Tanzania, they were at 2.2. Last year they got 1.3. Kenya, the brute, it was 300. It's 2.5 billion US dollars, as opposed to 2001 when they got Uganda, they got 1.2. Tanzania, at the same period, 2.5 billion US dollars. Tanzania, they got 1.2 billion US dollars. Last year they got 1.3 billion US dollars. Kenya, 2001, we got 300. Last year we got 751 million. Now, what this one tells us is that foreign direct investments, investors are preferring our neighbors than Kenya. And one of the contributing factor is taxation. And I will tell you that most of the companies who are going to Tanzania, those who are going to Uganda, by the way, they are Kenyan companies which are setting operations in Tanzania and Uganda and producing for Kenya under common external tariff. So basically we are losing. So we need So we need to adapt this policy and make sure the proposal which has been proposed by the committee are implemented so that we can have a conducive environment not only for businesses but also for the Kenyans so that they can have disposable income and consume and spur economic growth. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving that opportunity. I support.
Honorable Milemba, you want to speak on this?
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for this chance. It is true that since independence, we have never had a tax policy, and this is the first one being prompted, and therefore I want to thank the chair and the committee for having moved us a step forward to have a tax policy which can generally manage our legislations on taxes and also regulate matters tax. Honorable Speaker, I also had a chance of listening to the chair when he was moving this motion, and I thought that many of the things he spoke about were actually good, and to some extent they would relieve even the Kenyans who are currently talking about just two things. Either they are talking about the foreign debt or they are talking about the taxes, among other things. But those ones come very, very much ahead. Honorable Speaker, this policy first will give Parliament a chance to actually be the only body that is actually regulating the taxes that are imposed to our citizens, because it will curb the idea of the taxes that are imposed by the East African Custom Tax, which sometimes are implemented without approval of Parliament and therefore leads to double taxation by the Kenyans. And this would be very, very good so that the Parliament takes total responsibility of the management of taxes. So that one I thought was very good, and it will go a long way to have tax control in one center. Also, Honorable Speaker, this policy would lead to a situation whereby we can predict the tax regime, and this will actually go a long way then to attract the foreign investors. The speaker just preceding me talked about how investors are moving from Kenya and are going to Tanzania and the neighboring countries. And it is actually very important that we have a tax policy with a time frame that also indicates if we have a particular tax, for instance, levied this particular time, how long will it take before it is possibly changed? From where we have been operating, it has been a knee-jerk where you can change this anytime. And investors who come in because they are attracted because of a particular tax law that possibly has been put in place, later on invest a lot of money in that particular sector, whether it's an industry, later on will just realize that the same has been changed in 6 months, in 1 year, and possibly they are taking a lot of money to invest in that particular industry. And that is why then these investors will run away to Tanzania, Uganda, possibly where there is a serious tax policy, and therefore you can predict what is going to happen in the sector. So I find that very, very good. And this is something we have to look at very seriously, if I may take 2 more seconds there, because we really need to attract foreign investors. And we are in a very competing market with our neighbors. Originally, we used to boast of being the most attractive people in terms of attracting the foreign investors. But possibly it was because we had infrastructure, we had labor, but now the issue of taxes is making us lose and compete weakly against our other competitors who are also our neighbors. Honorable Speaker, I also want to indicate that the digital sector, which has really expanded, and be that as it may, it is the sector which now will actually take more of the businesses because everything is getting digitized. Unless we tap that sector, it will be very difficult to actually reach out to those who are doing business. And this tax policy actually indicates that it wants to widen it to the net to reach the businesses being done online and digitization, and which again is being promoted by the Kenya Kwanza government, given that we are going to do hubs all over and the young people will be doing business. And it's very important that we mop out that. So it is also very fine that we expand our tax base by going in all sectors, and especially the digital platforms, which are now the modern sector of business that we are having. Honorable Speaker, there was an issue on the excise tax. Indeed, the excise tax is supposed actually to be punitive in a way to those products that actually are discouraged, like alcohol, like gambling, which we have just been dealing with in a few minutes. But the excise tax in Kenya has also been applied to many other goods which otherwise should not be put in this particular bracket. I hope this policy, and I think I overheard the chair did mention something on this, that in this policy, they are going to be limited to these goods of luxury. In economics, we used to call them given good.
Give you one more minute.
Oh, I thought it's 10 minutes. We used to call them the given goods, which actually are luxury and they need to be discouraged. So I think the policy generally is good, and it should go a long way, as I conclude, Chair, to make sure that there's relief generally, where we can have relief to the Kenyans in this sector, so that the Kenyans can also feel reprieved, we can attract foreign investment, and we can also support the government to have enough tax to money. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support.
The majority leader and member for Kikuyu, we keep losing Kikuyu as a constituency.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes, you know, I'm very proud to represent the good people of Kikuyu, even as we serve the rest of the country. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this motion on the national tax policy. Just, Honorable Speaker, to say that this national tax policy is one of the measures that the Kenya Kwanza government has taken to ensure that, one, there is uniformity and certainty in our tax policies. And Honorable Speaker, basically to ensure that we enhance transparency in tax policies and form a basis for tax reforms and a review of the existing tax legislation now and in the future, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Kenya joins a few nations in Africa like South Africa and Nigeria that also have a national tax policy. And Honorable Speaker, you know, when we lack a national tax policy or tax policy like this, then our tax regime becomes rather unpredictable. And the unpredictability of any tax regime in a country leads to loss of foreign direct investments in terms of foreign direct investors who may want to invest your country in our country or in any country, not being certain or not being able to predict the kind of returns they would make in a country where the tax regime is unpredictable. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, we also, in a way, are seeking to create attractiveness and also to be able to retain our foreign direct investments when we have a very predictable and certain tax policy that even investors out there, anybody in the world, can be able to predict, if you come and invest in this country, what taxes are you bound to pay. Honorable Speaker, we are happy that this is coming at a time when we have just concluded the National Dialogue Committee's work. And you are aware, Honorable Speaker, that the conversation around the Finance Bill 2023, and I see the Chair of Finance is in the House, and I must commend the Chair of Finance for the robust public participation that he conducted during the legislation of the Finance Bill 2023. Because it is out of this very robust public participation that the majority of Kenyans now realize that there is something called a finance bill. Before this year, Kenyans never knew what a finance bill is. But after the public participation that was conducted by the Committee on Finance, Kenyans now know that there is a finance bill, and they know this animal called a finance bill, what it does. It is the one that designates what taxes they are to pay. And no wonder, Honorable Speaker, even in the courts, in the judgment that came the day before yesterday, the court noted that indeed the National Assembly did conduct adequate and meaningful public participation in enacting that legislation. I'm saying that, Honorable Speaker, because we have had a lot of engagement throughout the year and up to now, even in the courts, leading to the courts, Honorable Speaker, on the Finance Bill 2023 and the Finance Act of 2023. And a lot was said about our tax regime. Beyond the Finance Act, Honorable Speaker, this conversation, we have even carried it on into the national dialogue discussion on the issue around the cost of living. And there are those who pretended or who were of the view, especially those of us in the minority and those who are not on the government side, that it is out of the tax regime that the cost of living in this country has gone up. And we have a different view, Honorable Speaker. And indeed, you will see from the report that we just submitted to the principals of the two coalitions and which will be tabling before the House, one of the things that we pretended, those of us who are on the Kenya Kwanza side, is that the high cost of living is not principally out of our tax regime. That the high cost of living is a conglomeration of many factors, be it the war in Ukraine and Russia, the war in the Middle East, be it the global challenges with the recession post-COVID and the slow recovery of the economy, global economy post-COVID, or the monetary policy tightening in the US. All these factors have contributed in a big way in escalating the cost of living in our country and indeed in the world, because Kenya is not unique. And Honorable Speaker, many others, or a few others in the opposition were telling us, oh, it is out of taxation. And Honorable Speaker, up to now, I've heard people saying that the frequent increases in taxation. And I was just asking the Chair of Finance, has he introduced a finance bill, another one other than the one he did in July, that people keep talking about increases in taxation every now and then as if this House is legislating on tax every day, which is not the case, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this national tax policy, as I said, will inform a review and a reform of the entire tax regime. And I am glad when the Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury appeared before the National Dialogue Committee, he asserted that fact, and in fact in our report, we have agreed with the Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury that we shall give him up to the end of February next year to be able to table before Parliament a reviewed and a reformed national tax regime, targeting all our tax instruments, not just dwelling on VAT on fuel or dwelling on the housing levy, which surprisingly, Honorable Speaker, and I have tremendous respect for judges in the judiciary, I heard them saying that the tax on housing is unconstitutional on the basis that is being levied on people who are salaried. And I wondered, Honorable Speaker, we also pay as you earn. That is only paid principally by people who are salaried. So I don't know, and I said I have tremendous respect for our judges, but I really have wanted if our lawyer like yourself to appear before that judge and ask them, if pay as you earn is taxed on the basis of those who are salaried, and the housing tax is also being taxed to those who are salaried, then they should tell us even pay as you earn is unconstitutional. If that is the argument, Honorable Speaker.
Because the Honorable Majority Leader, I think National Assembly was a party to this suit, advised them to appeal.
We will advise them on appeal. I am certain the able lawyers led by our senior Sir George, the member for Tharaka, will be articulating these issues. In fact, I called Honorable Murugara and someone for legal counsel to ask them, why don't you ask for me in court? If pay as you earn is not unconstitutional, how then is housing being unconstitutional on the basis that it is being levied on salaried people? How will you then levy it on people who are not earning a salary if you don't levy pay as you earn on those who are earning a salary? And Honorable Speaker, I'm saying this because the Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury did indicate that they intend to review the entire tax regime, all the tax instruments, whether it's VAT, whether it's excise duty, whether it's income tax, and all other levies that fall under our tax regime, Honorable Speaker. And I'll beg you, add me 2 minutes to just finish that point. That
I've actually given you 10.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You've exhausted the 10. You exhausted the 10 already. So you have 1 minute to analyze.
Okay, I was saying, Honorable Speaker, you know, I've also been listening to you. I pause to listen to you when you interrupt me. That's why I'm begging your indulgence for another 2 minutes.
Okay,
I was saying,
ahead.
should we, if we were to review all these tax instruments, Honorable Speaker, then we'll be able to find the optimal level of taxes on each of the instruments, with a view, 1, to broadening our tax base, 2, to increase our national revenues that we are raising from taxation, and 3, to lessen the tax burden on Kenyans. Because that basically is a problem that Kenyans are complaining about, that those who are salaried may feel they are overburdened by taxation because there are those in the informal sector probably who are not paying tax. And there are tax instruments that we could use and utilize to make sure that we collect more taxes even from those in the informal sector, and especially those who are not in the very formal sector where they are known what they are doing, Honorable Speaker. 2, Honorable Speaker, is on the question of whether or not we are overtaxing Kenyans. And at the Liberty, Honorable Speaker, recently when I visited France, because I was in a meeting where the president of the IMF was asking European countries to increase their tax to GDP ratios. And in that meeting, I was seated next to someone from Austria, and I asked them, what is the tax to GDP ratio in your country? And they told me 43.6%. I Googled, in the same meeting, France was in the region of 48%, close to 50%. The US, Honorable Speaker, is at 16% on federal tax. If you go to the states, a state like California that is the size of Kenya, although the economy is much bigger than Kenya's, is at 13.5. That tells you they're about 29.5. Our tax to GDP ratio today is only at about 13.5 or 14%. Therefore, if you say Kenyans are being overtaxed, and yet we are the same people who are going to the US, to France, to borrow money from them. And that money is not manna from heaven, Honorable Speaker. It is money that those countries have raised from their taxpayers. So we want other people to be taxed for us to get that money, but we do not want to pay taxes. Honorable Speaker, I want to support this national tax policy and say it will now inform us based on empirical data also from the review that the National Treasury is doing, and I must thank the Danish Danida for supporting the National Treasury in doing that comprehensive tax review that will ensure that we get a tax regime that is fair, that is equitable, that is transparent, one that is predictable, that will help us to not only attract but also retain foreign direct investments, Honorable Speaker, but more importantly, Honorable Speaker, to ensure that we raise adequate revenues to be able to finance our budget. We are able to broaden our tax base so that every Kenyan bears an equal burden in payment of taxes. I hope, Honorable Speaker, as I indicated to the Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury, that we shall have a review, especially of the tax expenditure on VAT. He indicated to us during the National Dialogue Committee that about 18% of the tax expenditure goes to tax refunds on VAT. And 95% of those tax expenditure, those tax reviews, refunds, go to only 2 products, being milk and bread. And Honorable Speaker, you need to ask yourself, who are the beneficiaries?
"30 seconds.
Honorable Speaker, in 30 seconds, I'm asking, Kenyans must begin to ask themselves, how did we arrive at that situation where we are spending 95% of our tax refunds to 2 companies dealing with bread and milk? You must ask yourselves, who are these who are getting tax refunds on milk? Honorable Speaker, when I spoke about instituting a state capture commission, I meant business, because this House must act and ensure there is a state capture commission so that we get to know how did we influence tax policies to ensure that milk processors are getting 95% of our VAT refunds at the expense of Kenyans, who you then go and incite and tell them they are being overtaxed, and you're not telling them it is you stealing and taking their taxes through state capture by influencing government policy. Honorable Speaker, this House, as we debate this tax policy, must ensure that there comes to an end the era of state capture, and we shall not have tax policies that will be geared towards ensuring that people are getting tax refunds for the benefit of private businesses at the expense of the majority of Kenyans, who then you turn around and incite. I hope, Honorable Speaker, because I can only see the member for GEM and the member for Busia, I hope those who shout over the weekends in funerals, how I wish they were here this afternoon to discuss the tax policy, because this is where you discuss tax matters. Not in funerals.
Thank you.
Not in burial, where you are disrupting people in funerals and in churches. Come debate the tax policy on the floor of the House. You can see on the other side there are only 3 members: the member for GEM, the member for Busia, and
nothing. Well said, Don Ramojuti. Don Ramojuti, I need to inform you, Majesty, I need to inform you that all of us are waiting. The country is waiting for the day you will announce the members of that State Chapter Commission. Because you keep threatening about it. Everyone is asking, when is it being appointed? The member for Karachuonyo, the Honorable Andrew Adipo Okwome.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. And maybe I'll start by urging the majority leader to note that the concern of Kenyans on the taxation as it is today is justified. And we should just find a way, using the tax policy we have just, that has just been brought to us, at least to answer people's concern. People are concerned very much with our tax affairs. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that we need a tax policy that would encourage businessmen to do their work. Because if they succeed, they will have enough revenue if they succeed, the businessmen will have enough revenue upon which we can tax them. That way the tax will be spread thin on individuals. Mr. Speaker, I've just mentioned the businessmen. Let me say the same on manufacturers. If we have a tax policy that's not scaring to their business, we are going to collect more taxes from them. I particularly picked up these 2 bodies because the tax as we have it today has made them migrate from this country. They are going to other countries. They are creating unemployment. They are creating shortage in our foreign exchange. And therefore, we must have a policy that encourages them to earn more for us to tax them more. When I say this, I'm talking of friendly taxation. The taxation that allows them to make good profit and at the same time remain with enough for other things upon which we can also tax them. Mr. Speaker, the tax policy we use can either destroy or create employment. As it is today, the tax we have is very unfriendly to creation of employment. This must end, and I'm glad we are formulating or starting to formulate a policy on taxation. Let us direct this policy towards creation of employment. We want to create incentives both to individuals, companies, and manufacturers to pay tax. If the tax is not too much of a burden for them, if it is not too much a burden for them, you will find them paying tax voluntarily. They will not need anybody or income tax to have a whip at their back in order that they pay. They will volunteer to pay. We will teach them that it is their responsibility to pay tax, because tax is what makes the government run. But the question is, how much tax is it that we are talking about? If it is a killing tax which allows nobody to remain with income for food, then of course people will evade. They will try means of not paying that tax. You will find you are forcing people to pay what you cannot get. In English they say, you will have been killing the goose that lay the eggs. Mr. Speaker, this policy is extremely important, and since everybody is crying that our taxation is a little too much, I wish everybody came to contribute to this particular motion so that we can be able to start again and manage to use taxation to create employment, to create investments, to enable manufacturers to come to Kenya, to enable everybody to pay the tax without crying. People are currently crying. That's why I'm talking of creating a tax that is friendly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity.
The Honourable Member for Tinderet, Julius Meli.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this tax policy statement, policy, the session of paper number 2 of 2023. Mr. Speaker, I want to laud the good work done by the Chair, Finance and Planning of the National Assembly, because since over the years, we have had no national tax policy. We have had a lot of tax, what we call legislative acts on taxes. But a national tax policy that shall guide the country into the future, and more specifically, to guide the taxation system in this country, has never been there. And I want to really thank the Finance and Planning Committee for the good work done. Mr. Speaker, the session of paper is actually a blueprint. It is the document that is going to guide this country to avoid the unpredictability of the taxation system, which, if not well anchored in a policy and in a very good direction, it actually also ends up making investors to run away from the country. In fact, what the paper has done is to actually give a very detailed overview on what the National Treasury should actually have in place before they engage in any form of taxation system. The motivation aspect of it, to make sure that the taxpayers do not look at the tax they pay as punitive, but as a form of enhancing and promoting the environment under which they can do business. Businesses thrive in a proper regulated tax environment. And in this, I've actually looked at the session of paper to show that there are various ways in which the National Treasury is guided to ensure that any other tax, any other form of taxation that is coming into play has to first of all favor the business environment. That is going to promote, to ensure that there is the creation of wealth, there is distribution of wealth, there is fairness and there is equity across the Republic and in all levels of producers. Honorable Speaker, a tax system that does not look into the importance of the businesses and how to grow a business is actually inhibiting the growth of our country. And that is why the national policy is actually having a global look from the lowest level to the big businesses, the macro, the big businesses, the small businesses, and even the people who are in the payroll, and even the people who are actually in the informal sector. So I want to say that this is a very important policy, and this gives a direction under which we as a country, in all sectors of the economy, be it agriculture, be it in the innovation, in technology, and in all these other aspects, so that we do not develop taxation systems or policies that do not favor the growth of the industries that we have. Last, Honorable Speaker, if you look at this policy, it has aligned, it seeks to establish tax incentives and exemption scheme that is aligned with the Kenya's development agenda. The taxes that we have, if not well taken care of, if not well actually administered, is actually going to make the investors run away. So this is a very good policy, and I want to ask that the chair, this is the right way to go, and very soon our economy will grow well. Thank you so much, and I support.
The MP for Mosop.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity that you've given me to also contribute on this debate on tax policy 2023. Allow me to thank the committee for the great job that they have done this far to make sure that we overhaul the whole tax policy in the country because of the challenges that we've had in the past in collecting taxes. Kenya is one of the countries that actually collects taxes, but at the rate at which it's collected is low. So the committee, by sitting down and looking at all the challenges that this country have gone through, I want to commend them. I support the suggestions and the policies they are bringing forth. One is enhancing transparency in tax processes, addressing the challenges that there is a huge population in this country that are not really being taxed. And as such, the committee has given proposals on how we can actually increase our tax base. If we increase our tax base, that means we are going to get more taxes. But the current tax policy in place does not actually address these matters. One of the areas also they looked into is a very difficult area to tax, like the digital sector. There is a lot of business that is going on in digital world, but the current system does not factor in as to what can be done to tax those particular businesses. But this tax policy that has been brought forth by the committee is giving suggestions on ways on how we can go about it so that we can actually collect more taxes from digital businesses. Also, they came up with solutions to aching tax system that we've had for a very long time. And we continue to use the same. Any investor who is planning and coming to the country, the first thing they look at is the tax policy of that country. And if it's not favorable to their businesses, they will not even consider coming to invest in Kenya. And as such, I want to commend the committee because they sat down and look at what factors can we do to make it attractive for most of the businesses to come into this country. And also on this tax policy, they have included. And as such, it is going to help us as we move forward as a nation to make sure that our taxes are favorable to the businesses and also to the individuals, and also that we are increasing the tax base to make sure that everybody is paying their fair share. There is also a huge population and a huge businesses that are also evading taxes in this country. And as such, the tax policy has addressed those matters and those issues as to what can be done to make sure that those individuals who are evading taxes, they will be able to pay and they will be able to arrest them as well. So there are so many activities, there are so many suggestions that I support these suggestions from this committee that if we continue, if we are going to enact this new tax policy, Kenya is going to increase its revenue. As well, it is going to be fair and transparent for most of the businesses when they are paying, and it is going to attract a lot of investors in this country to make sure that they come to Kenya and invest. With that, Mr. Speaker, I support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Catherine Omanyo, MP for Busia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The stage is set for a showcase of young talent.